And welcome to my personal learning presentation. So in this presentation, I'm going to be addressing my strengths and weaknesses of both my personal and professional development at the start of year two. Secondly, I'm going to assess my development through the second year at university, including placement. And finally, I'm going to assess my future professional needs. Now, I'm going to do this using Gibbs's reflective cycle of 1988 to engage in what we call critical reflection. Now, literature states if we don't engage in critical reflection, we will become trapped in our own unexamined judgments and expectations. This will lead to poor professional practice as we are not reflecting on why we are doing the things that we do. Now, at the start of year two, I finished year one with 621s, but felt like I could have achieved much higher had I put in extra time and effort into my uni assignments. Now, when year two had started, I had envisioned myself going into a coaching career post-university, but I had no idea as to what sector of coaching I would like to go into. I mean, having had experience in participation, talent development, and even the elite level, still hadn't quite made my mind up as to which avenue I wanted to go down. Now, this led to me not being particularly motivated for university, as I had no real end goal post-university to look forward to. Now, my strengths at the beginning of year two. Now, although I wasn't necessarily motivated for university, I'd settled in really well and made many new friends in my first year, which led to me feeling really comfortable and enjoying the overall university lifestyle. Now, during the summer, I had continued working with Sheffield United as a goalkeeping coach, where I'd become much more involved within their academy setup, as well as with their assessment group that I'd worked with the year before. This led to me getting a better understanding of good coaching practice within talent development and elite level of coaching. Secondly, I'd also started working at Love Life UK during the summer. Now, this is a coaching company who work within primary schools across South Yorkshire, delivering after school and lunchtime clubs, trying to get more children involved within sport. Now, the benefits of this experience was that it got me plenty of experience leading into my second year at university, coaching within a variety of different coaching populations. This helped me understand the coaching, what it's like to work within these different coaching environments and get a better understanding of good coaching practice within these sectors of coaching. Now, this experience was beneficial as Bortelli et al. 2010 found that more experienced coaches produce more effective coaching compared to inexperienced coaches. Now, this is important because it shows that the more experienced we are, the more we understand our role as a coach, the better and more competent we're going to become at it. Now, on the other hand, my weaknesses, although I had no idea what I wanted to do post-university. Now, this led to me not really being motivated for university assignments and having no real desire to push myself to get the best possible grades. Now, literature found that the more motivated someone is, the more likely they are to achieve higher levels of academic performance. Therefore, from my perspective, I needed something to really motivate myself to really try and push on and get first rather than 2 1s. And this is what I found from year two to placement, was that I found what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into teaching. Now, this decision came from looking at the coaching within the different populations that I'd done over the summer. And it made me realize that I'd much more enjoy working within participation, as I can really, it's more about inspiring people to get into sport and enjoying sport rather than working at the top end, looking to really just improve them. We're not worried about enjoying sport. And as Crane and Temple 2015 found, lack of enjoyment is the main reason for children dropping out of sport. Therefore, I wanted to be involved in an environment which really puts enjoyment at the forefront of the experience. And secondly, another reason I wanted to go into this is that 28% of children aged 2 to 15 are classed as overweight or obese. Therefore, I feel as a PE teacher, I could really inspire this population to start becoming healthy and active, and I could really benefit their lives both at school and once they've left school as they get older. Now we're going to look at my development through second year of university, starting with pre-placement. Now, as pre-placement, I was very happy with how the second year had progressed. Now, the workload had significantly increased, but I feel I coped with this very well as I become much more organised, especially compared to last year, where I was rushing to get all my assignments completed at the last minute. Whereas this year, I've completed my work with weeks left in advance, having planned ahead. This improving my organisation skills and planning skills this way has allowed me to feel far less stressed as I have things under control and don't have to rush to get my assignments done at the last minute. This means that I'm producing, I feel I'm more confident with the work I'm producing as I'm putting in more time and thought into these assignments. Now, the evidence is there as my grades have significantly improved from 6.21 grades in the first year to 3 first and 1.21 in this academic year so far. From this, I have learned the advantages of being organised and the benefits this can have from my personal and professional development. Now, this is supported within the profession of teaching, as Spencer 2003 found that planning is recognised by students as evidence of good teaching practice. And it's supported in coaching too, as Jones, Hausner and Kornspan found that more experienced and competent coaches are more diligent planners than less experienced coaches. Now, in the future, I'm going to continue to utilise good planning skills and remaining organised through third year and hopefully onto a PGCE too. And to keep organised, I have started working at Archers, which is a school sport partnership, so that I'm getting experience in primary schools. And secondly, I've also volunteered at Newfield Secondary School 1 day a week. And this has given me experience within secondary schools so that I am able to go both into primary and secondary schools, as I have both experience in both. Moving on to my second reflection, this was done after the first week at my placement, which was at Bowlby Carr Academy of Sport. Now, I was working with 16 to 18-year-old talented footballers who were aspiring to play semi-professional or professional football. Now, in this environment, the coaches create a very structured environment which demands hard work, commitment and dedication from both individuals and the team so they can be the best footballers they can be. Now, from what I've observed from the coaching practice at Bowlby Carr, the coaching practice seems to fall in line with literature such as Cushion, Ford and Williams 2012 regarding coaching practice in football, as the coaches utilise mainly autocratic behaviour along with unopposed drills to improve technique. My role so far has been very minimal, more observational and just helping out whenever I can. However, the coaches have asked me to take the first part of the session on Monday. Hopefully, I'll start to get more coaching sessions and more involved once I get more experience with the group. Now, I feel like the coaches could incorporate more games into their practices, as although the drills they use does improve the technique of the athletes, literature such as Harvey and Light 2015 states that condition games not only improve technique, but allow the athlete to contextualise their decisions so that they use the correct skill within the correct context. And this was supported by the reaction of the players. Talking to a couple of players, I feel like the players would prefer more game-based practices incorporated within their training sessions, as from what I heard, the drills were becoming quickly repetitive to some. Now, this is supported by Aslan 2013, who found that participants enjoy playing small-sided games much more than standard drills, as they have much more say in the decision-making process. Now, in the future, I'm hoping to get more involved within these coaching sessions, and I will emphasise the principles of conditioning games and teaching games for understanding, as I feel this will benefit these athletes as they have grown accustomed to unopposed drills. Therefore, by challenging them in different ways, I can improve these athletes over time using a different style of coaching. Now, moving on to reflection 3. This was done week 3 into placement, and I've become a lot more involved both as a coach and as a player due to my specialism as a goalkeeper. And with an injury to one of the academy goalkeepers, I started becoming much more utilised as a player coach. But I felt this actually helped rather than hindered with my coaching, as when people saw that I was a competent goalkeeper myself, they respected me more as a coach and listened to more of my coaching instructions. And this is put by Phelps et al. 2011, who found that more competent coaches had more playing experience compared to less competent coaches and were more respected as the coaches themselves. Now, this led to my confidence increasing drastically with this group, as I felt a little bit strange at the start, coaching people who are not much younger than myself. However, by adapting my coaching to this group, by changing things such as my verbal language, getting more talking and behaving a bit more like them, I felt more confident and competent both coaching and controlling behaviour within this group. This led to me becoming much more respected as a member of the coaching team, which increased my confidence, which allowed me to concentrate on coaching the team rather than them worrying about their perceptions of me as a slightly more inexperienced coach. Now, in the future, I would make sure to assert my authority right from the start, as I felt like in the first week, I made it difficult by not really making a mark on the coaching group and taking more of a backseat role. So therefore, if I were to do this again, I would probably really get involved with the group, really try and get involved and take more of a coaching role if I could. And this would lead to me becoming much more respected and allowing me to really concentrate on my coaching rather than worrying about perceptions of myself. A look at reflection 4, which was post-placement. Now, my placement at Bowlby Carr, it was a very beneficial and enjoyable experience. However, I know from this experience I don't wish to work within colleges once I complete my university degree. And I now feel I'm much more suited to secondary schools rather than colleges, as I feel it's a more enjoyable and satisfying population to teach or coach. However, this placement has massively increased my confidence as a coach working within this coaching population, as it was really difficult for me at the start. I feel like I've really grown into the role and start to really understand how to get the best out of these sort of players. And it was shown in one of my final coaching sessions where I led a coaching session fully on my own and implemented non-linear pedagogy into a shooting drill. And this was received very well, as the session allowed the players to create a shot on goal in multiple different ways, and it improved their ability to contextualize a skill that they used the correct shot or decided to shoot in the correct type of match scenario. Now, from the reaction of the players to me as a coach, I believe that if you gain respect of a difficult group like this straight away, they will respect you and engage within your sessions. However, if you allow them to, they will disengage easily and make your role as a coach much more difficult. Therefore, NAV in 2012 recommended that we as coaches engage the athletes in the decision-making process, like I did with the non-linear pedagogy shooting drill, and promote self-responsibility for their own development. Now, obviously, the effect of this was that the athletes were much more engaged within the session and focus on improving rather than actually making any attempt to disrupt your session, which will make your job as the coach much easier. Now, from this experience, I've learned how to best work with this group of people to maximise their learning and development, and it will put me in a good position if I ever decide to coach a similar coaching population further down the line. Now, finally, the assessment of my future needs. Now, from this year at university, I know exactly what I want to do post-university, and I've set out a plan for me to do this. Now, as you know, I've started working at Archers. I'm going to continue working with these over the third year, which will give me plenty of experience within primary schools, within after-school clubs, and even running PE lessons. And secondly, I have also started volunteering at Newfield Secondary School 1 day a week, like I've told you, and I'll continue doing this during the third year as well, which will hopefully give me a very impressive CV when I apply to go onto a PGCE post my sport coaching degree. Now, this experience, along with a first overall in my degree, which is what I'm striving for, should give me the best possible chance of getting onto a PGCE course in PE, and then which completed will give me the qualifications necessary to get a job as a PE teacher. Thank you for listening, and here are the references.